Now to the cackling witch herself, Joy Behar from The View, whose jealousy is something to behold.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Here is Joy objectifying the White House press secretary, saying she only has the job because she's hot.
Joy Behar's abrupt exit from The View has sent shockwaves through the industry. Fans, critics, and even her longtime co-hosts are scrambling for answers, stunned by the unexpected shakeup. Behar, known for her sharp tongue and fearless takes, has faced her fair share of backlash over the years. But this time, it looks like the firestorm surrounding her may have finally spiraled out of control. ABC is keeping things under wraps, refusing to spill the real reason behind her sudden departure. But whispers of a legal battle are swirling, specifically a defamation lawsuit brought by Karoline Leavitt. With Behar already a magnet for controversy, many are now wondering if this lawsuit was the final nail in the coffin that forced the network to cut ties with the outspoken host. The drama erupted when Behar made a scathing remark about Levitt, who serves as Donald Trump's press secretary. In a segment that quickly went viral, Behar boldly implied that Levitt didn't land her position due to political or professional credentials, but because, according to Trump, she was physically attractive. The comment ignited immediate backlash, with critics slamming Behar for hypocrisy and outright disrespect. With legal troubles brewing, Behar's fate at ABC may have been sealed the moment those words left her mouth. Now, the big question remains. Was this a case of Behar finally crossing the line? Or is there more to the story that ABC doesn't want the public to know?
Ever-empowering feminist Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world.
The View hosts have got themselves into hot water again after they did the very thing they purport to be against, undermining women's success. Joy Behar stunned viewers when she said Donald Trump's press secretary, 27-year-old Karoline Leavitt, only secured her position because of her good looks.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
The comment was bizarre, especially coming from Joy Behar, who is as woke as they come and positions herself as a champion of feminism. This online commentator said, disgusting Joy Behar of The View accuses Karoline Leavitt of being hired only because...
The moment Joy Behar made the shocking remark, the air in The View's studio turned ice cold. Gasps rippled through the audience, and even her co-hosts, who are used to her no-holds-barred commentary, were visibly stunned. But the real firestorm erupted online. Within minutes, social media was ablaze with outrage as critics from all sides accused Behar of reducing a woman in politics to nothing more than her looks. And the irony? For years, Behar has positioned herself as a fierce advocate for women's rights, calling out sexism in politics, media, and entertainment. This time, though, her own words came back to haunt her. Viewers were floored by the hypocrisy. How could someone who champions feminism and women's empowerment so casually undermine another woman's achievements? The backlash hit like a tidal wave, and the internet wasted no time in calling for action.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Here is Joy objectifying the White House press secretary, saying she only has the job because she's hot.
Hashtags like #CancelJoyBehar and #FireJoy. Behar flooded Twitter, with even some of Behar's most loyal supporters struggling to defend her this time. The disappointment was palpable. Fans who once admired her outspokenness now felt betrayed, seeing the comment as both dismissive and degrading. But while the outrage escalated Behar, she barely blinked. Instead of addressing the growing backlash, she brushed it off like just another fleeting controversy, acting as if the storm would pass. But this wasn't just another media frenzy. It was a full-blown crisis. And things took a drastic turn when Karoline Leavitt decided she wasn't letting this slide. The press secretary wasted no time in hitting back, taking the ultimate step, legal action.
Karoline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
How well you can do your job, and the American people agree with that sentiment. So it's about competence, skill, and...
Karoline Leavitt didn't just fire back with a strongly worded statement. She went straight for the legal jugular. Instead of merely condemning Joy Behar's remarks in public, Levitt took it to the courts, filing a lawsuit that accused Behar of outright defamation. But this wasn't just about hurt feelings. Legal experts quickly pointed out that Levitt's case ran much deeper. She wasn't just claiming offense, she was arguing that Behar's comments had actively damaged her professional reputation. And to make matters worse, the lawsuit alleged that Behar didn't just misspeak, she acted with malicious intent, deliberately trying to destroy Levitt's credibility. As the legal battle gained momentum, ABC found itself in an impossible situation.
It's focused on ensuring that the most competent individuals, the best and the brightest in this country, are in positions.
The network had stood by Behar through countless controversies. But this time, the stakes were different. A defamation lawsuit isn't just bad press. It's a potential financial and reputational disaster. Executives reportedly scrambled into emergency meetings, desperately trying to figure out their next move. If they backed Behar, they'd be locking themselves into a brutal legal fight, one that could drag the network's name through the mud for months, even years. But if they cut her loose, they'd be losing one of the View's most polarizing and headline-generating stars. The tension behind the scenes was insane. Staff members were reportedly divided. Some believed Behar had finally gone too far, while others insisted she was being unfairly targeted. Insiders revealed that discussions were already underway about how to handle the fallout.
Behar may have your jobs because of wokeness, but do not smear a competent professional woman like Karoline Leavitt.
Options were on the table, from a temporary suspension to forcing Behar into a public apology. But the most drastic move? Forcing her to step down altogether. And if ABC was leaning toward that choice, it meant they believed this scandal was beyond repair.
With your nonsense, and don't lie about this being her first job. We know what you're doing there.
What might have started as just another fleeting controversy had now erupted into a full-blown crisis for ABC. The network was scrambling, trying to control the damage, but before they could find a way out, boom! The bombshell dropped. Joy Behar was officially leaving The View. ABC's statement was as vague as it was suspicious, merely stating that Behar had decided to step away. But let's be real. Nobody was buying that this was a voluntary exit. The timing was way too convenient, coming right on the heels of Karoline Leavitt's lawsuit and a social media firestorm that showed no signs of dying down. Behind the scenes, insiders claim that ABC's top brass had already made their decision. Behar was becoming too much of a liability, and the network was cutting their losses before things got even messier. Reactions to her departure were explosive. Some viewers were celebrating, arguing that Behar had skated by for way too long with her unfiltered takes, and it was about time she faced real consequences. They saw this as long overdue accountability, calling out what they believed was a pattern of hypocrisy in her commentary. But others? They were furious. To them, ABC's decision reeked of corporate cowardice. Another example of a major network caving to political pressure instead of standing by one of its most outspoken voices. And just like that, the debate ignited. Was this a justified response to an out-of-line remark? Or was it another case of cancel culture going too far, silencing a media veteran for speaking her mind? Social media, news outlets, and even late-night talk shows were dissecting every angle. Was Behar's exit truly about the lawsuit? Or had ABC been looking for a reason to push her out for good? Now, with Behar out of the picture, the spotlight shifts to The View itself.
Democrats have been labeling President Trump a to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the worst mass in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political that has led to 2 heinous attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father Dick Cheney have got this country into is not political. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans.
What's next for the long-running talk show? Will ABC play it safe and bring in a less polarizing voice? Or will they double down and replace her with someone just as fiery? And more importantly, who could even fill the void left by Behar's departure? Because love her or hate her, there's no denying that Joy Behar was the show's biggest headline maker. And now, the million-dollar question. What happens to the lawsuit now that Joy Behar is no longer on The View? Will this legal battle continue? Or will ABC step in to put out the fire before things spiral even further out of control? Some industry insiders believe the network is already working behind the scenes to settle with Karoline Leavitt, hoping to make this controversy disappear before it causes any more damage to ABC's reputation. A drawn-out courtroom showdown could be a PR nightmare, dragging the network's name through the mud and keeping Behar's controversial remarks in the headlines for months, maybe even years. But others aren't convinced it'll be that simple. If Levitt refuses to settle and pushes forward with her lawsuit, this could set a game-changing precedent for how defamation cases impact public figures, especially those in entertainment and media. But this isn't just about The View or even ABC anymore. This scandal has sparked a much bigger conversation. How accountable should media personalities be for their words? Should talk show hosts be allowed to make inflammatory remarks without facing consequences? Or is this a turning point where networks finally start cracking down on their most controversial voices? Behar's exit is sending shockwaves through the industry, raising critical questions about the future of outspoken TV personalities. Will networks start treading more carefully when hiring bold, unfiltered commentators? Or will they double down knowing that controversy sells? One thing's for sure. This isn't just about Joy Behar anymore. This is about the future of who gets to say what on national television. As for Behar herself, she's been eerily quiet since her departure, fueling endless speculation about her next move. Will she finally break her silence and set the record straight? Will she defend her remarks, call out ABC, or try to control the narrative before it spirals even further? Some think she'll come out swinging, refusing to let this scandal define her. Others suspect she'll disappear from the spotlight, retreating quietly to protect her legacy. Whatever happens next, one thing is undeniable. Joy Behar's exit marks the end of an era. But is it just the beginning of an even bigger media shakeup? Joy Behar's sudden departure isn't just the end of her time on The View, it's the end of an era. Love her or hate her, Behar was one of the show's most recognizable voices, and her absence will leave a mark that ABC can't ignore. Now, the network is at a crossroads. Do they replace her with another fiery, opinionated personality to keep the sparks flying? Or do they play it safe, toning down the controversy to avoid more media firestorms? One thing's for sure, The View will never be the same again. And it's not just ABC that's feeling the impact. Viewers are now forced to rethink their relationship with the show. Without Behar stirring the pot, will audiences still tune in? Or has this controversy shaken their trust in The View altogether? Some say Behar's exit is long overdue, that she had too many free passes, and this was the natural consequence of her actions. Others argue that she was unfairly targeted, a victim of cancel culture and political pressure. But what do you think? Was Joy Behar's departure justified, or was she pushed out as part of a larger agenda? Will The View bounce back stronger than ever, or is this the beginning of a new, more cautious era for the show? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear everything. And if you don't want to miss the next major twist in this unfolding media saga, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This story is far from over, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. See you in the next one.